What's going on, guys? This is the Poke Tea Time podcast, where we serve you up a cup of the hottest takes on what's going on in the Pokemon community. This is my co-host
Yuzi Pokemon.
And our lovely guest for the evening, the most suave Pokemon trainer there is. We got
Trainer Trey.
Yes, sir.
This guy.
We got a full podcast this evening. We got a lot to talk about. We truly do got a lot to talk about this evening. A lot of interesting stuff happened for myself and Yizzy this weekend. But before we get right into it, let's go ahead and have our wonderful, in his words, gentleman introduce himself, Trainer Trey.
This guy right here?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yo, what's going on, friendos? Jeff the Ref, Emmanuel Senpai, Pokemon Miami, basic trainer. What is going on, guys? Last lunch. Yo, Laura, legendary last Kanto Kitchen. Guys, so good to see everybody in here. Trainer Trey, that is my name, or just Trey, or Trey Grimm, or, oh my god, not that friggin' guy. Multimedia artist, content creator, and a guy who does things on the internet to do with Pokemon and trading card games and that sort of thing. Canadian, born and raised. Shout out to my fellow Canadians in the chat right now, if there's any of them.
A?
Yeah, there's a short synopsis. Friggin' A. There you go. Everyone knows that one, right? You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
I do know what you're talking about.
So, tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel. What do you do on there? What kind of content are you making on there?
Okay. I suppose a short synopsis as best I possibly can. Yeah, on my channel, I don't know, man. I've been doing mixed media on there, we will say, over the past 5-6 years, in and around there. I utilize my YouTube platform to kind of like push myself and my creativity levels when it comes to the multimedia stuff that I do within like photography, digital media, all that stuff. Everything you see on my channel, I do it entirely by myself, right? That's down to like the thumbnails, actual video edits, the video, taking the B-roll, all that kind of stuff. And I utilize that platform to kind of like network within the community as well too, be it like Pokemon or like Magic the Gathering or other people that are just kind of like, in editing realm, that sort of deals. So, yeah, I'm doing a pokey plethora, if you will. Like I said, over the past X amount of years, I just been kind of like going with the flow for the most part, and just seeing kind of where it takes me. People within this community like yourselves, other people that you guys see, all of us networking with and stuff like that, and been able off of that. Whether it comes to like a business perspective or just comes to like friendship perspective. So yeah, I've been utilizing.
Is it a little choppy?
Or
it looked like it for a second there.
Trey, you are lagging as far as audio and visual goes. But I think we got the most of that, right, Yizzy?
Yeah, so like, I'll share a little story when he's talking about multimedia marketing and also like incorporating that into his Pokemon channel while he fixed that really quick. So if some of people that like are watching right now know that I do like small bits of like B-roll and try to innovate like how I create the content, but it was originally inspired by Trainer Trey. I think at the time I had like 200-300 subs and he was like just hitting 1K at the time and just started or just blowing up. And I reached out. I'm like, man, like I created one, and then I think I tagged him in it. I'm like, this video was inspired by him. So if y'all like some of that B-roll and nice looking footage and slow motion and like glitz and like transition, like that's the guy, man.
Yeah,
that's the guy. And the rapping, yeah, except I don't rap.
Appreciate it. Respect.
Clean cut. The man knows how to spit.
Pokedom. Yeah, we got to. Thank you. Yeah, I got a couple. We'll just say we got a couple tracks coming relative, working on those. Oh, that's funny too. Who said that as well? Yo, Pokemon. Shout out to the bro and Pokemon. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's fixed as well too, guys. I think it should be good now.
Absolutely. So let's talk about this weekend, Yezzy. Let's talk about this week.
Let's talk about this weekend. All that ladies, you know what I'm saying?
You guys had I shouldn't say I heard.
Yeah, we had a
I seen that you guys had a relatively time.
Absolutely,
it was
lots of networking in a multitude of areas, I suppose.
Yeah, 100%. It was a pretty good time. I mean, I think myself and Yizzy, we kind of go for two different reasons, but it works out so cohesively that it just works because we have that level of teamwork. Like he's there specifically for buying and selling cards for the most part. And, if I ever need help in regards to the outreach aspect, because I'm mostly there for content, Yizzy's there to make content as well. But myself and Yizzy as a whole, he's there to do something else. I'm there to do something else. And if we ever have anything that we need from each other, we kind of come together and help each other out in that regard. And so, obviously, as you guys can see down below, we actually just got brought on. We actually just got brought on by Prodigy Games TCG. They are a local card shop in Florida, and I got to meet their team Thursday night. And management is great. The employees are great. They love a multitude of TCGs. I just enjoy talking to them, and myself as a collector, because I don't really play TCG games. I don't really play cards. I got to ask a lot of questions in regards to the overall environment as TCGs. Like, what's the difference between a TCG player and a collector? Because, like, for the most part, most TCG players aren't really collecting that heavy. They don't really go out of their way to collect as heavy. And then you have collectors that just collect heavy, but they don't really play the game. So, like, we were discussing what a TCG is and all the differences between, the two types of people there. So it was really, really great. Who's in charge of the master control? A little quiet over here. Let me go ahead and raise the overall audio from everyone. As far as audio input, my audio is all the way up to the max, but I'll go ahead and increase the desktop audio for everyone else so all the guests so everyone here can actually hear where that is. As of right now, I don't know exactly where Prodigy Gaming is, MV Pickles. I will put them up. I will put that up on my story. You can follow myself on Instagram or Yizzy, and you will definitely see that there. You can follow them. They're really, really nice people. They're on TikTok. They're on Instagram.
Pickles is in Florida, so he'll go and hit them up for sure.
Amazing people. But yeah, we had a great time. I got there Thursday. Yizzy got there Friday. It was a pretty low key thing amongst Pokemon people. It wasn't as huge as Collecticon in terms of Pokemon people, but it was still great nonetheless because you still had that small group of people there. What do you think, Izzy?
Yeah, it was mainly sports, 30%. They're actually from Lake Worth, Florida, if you were wondering. You know what I'm saying? I do my research.
You mean sports was like 60%, 70%. Pokemon.
Yeah, I would say 70-30, around there. It was majority sports, but it was cool because it was hosted by Shot Millie Pops, Card Kahuna, and whatnot, which is like a buying, selling, trading platform.
Yep.
I did like the aspect that the Pokemon community was smaller there because, as we know, Pokemon community it can be like a fishbowl and everybody knows each other. So it was actually really nice meeting everyone that you see online there.
100%. But like the thing is that even though we were like the 30% out of that 100%, we showed out, right? Like you go on the Collectors Con story, every social aspect that was there or done was on that story. Like you don't see that happening on the sports side. I'm not talking crap about the sports community or anything of the sort. I mean, they're really, really nice people. So like we just showed out there. Like we brought our A game there. We were there to have fun. We were there to do business, and I think for the most part everyone did what they needed to. We had Gem Mint Pokemon. Shout out to Gem Mint Pokemon, a legend, old school Pokemon. We had Palatine Pokemon TCG, his brother. We had the Pokemon Network there. Ourselves,
King,
Matt,
Ken Lee,
the Broke Nerd. We had Polish Rob. We had Don Diego Trading, Pokemon Radar. Everyone, like all these amazing people that were there and present. We just had a good time, right, Yizzy?
Yeah. Why are you smirking like that?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, because how many ladies
what was
you talked to?
Okay, let's talk to people. What was your favorite part of the trip, huh?
Favorite part of the trip?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say like the overall vibe.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to really explain, but like just being at this, honestly it was surreal. Surreal's a good word. And the reason why I say surreal, and I mean Trainer Trey can like he can talk a little bit more about this as well. But like when I first came into the community, never did I ever think I'd be in this sort of position now. It was kind of a humbling moment, Like we were there with Charizard King. Shout out to Charizard King. I helped with consignments with him there at the event. Just literally like at our booth, we had about a little over $300,000 worth of Pokemon product, and never did I ever think I'd be in that sort of position where I'd have that much stuff on my table. And it was just sort of like it's a flex, but it's not really a flex. It's like a humbling thing. Cause like, I just remember coming from this place where it's like, man, never will I ever think I'll be able to touch this stuff or handle this stuff or even be around it. And that's like the best thing about all of this. Like, like another big thing is like we see so much drama that happens in the Pokemon community, but like whenever this is my second ever convention that I've been to, and there's never drama. Never. Collecticon, no drama. Collectors Con, no drama.
I have a question. Let's talk about Trainer's Trade's drip.
Yes.
Look at this man. Like what's going on here, man? Literally he got me
with the drip, bro. There's no drip, Holmes. Trust, yo.
Dude,
I came from the gym. I'm like, yo,
here,
shirt and
it's
another
drip.
shirt on it.
Man,
Dude.
stop. Like literally, I had
respect,
a
bro.
T-shirt, and I saw this man get on.
Yizzy had to change just because he saw.
I had to change. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even ashamed. I'm like,
Yo,
no way.
right before the stream starts, Yizzy's like, yo, I gotta step out for a second. I said to Shiv, I'm like, Shiv, $20, Yizzy's getting changed. He's like, oh, he is. Comes back, super fresh. Yo.
Facts.
Yeah.
Big facts.
Yo,
Not
and
even little
Shiv,
facts.
Shiv, just to touch base on what you said as well too. Yeah, man. When it comes back to like that humbling perspective, it's just like I think it's point proof in the pudding when you take into consideration that like the amount of like growth that you've had, exponential growth over X amount of time, is just derivative from the amount of work that you're putting in and within the community as a whole, right? People see that and they resonate with that really well, and then that kind of helps perpetuate you or push you into positions where you otherwise don't even realize those positions are coming into fruition. You're more or less kind of like, you know what I mean? You guys are growing on platforms and networking well with one another, not only just one another, but other people within the community and outside of the community as well too. And people see that, like I said, resonate well with it. And when it comes, those gatherings, like you said, or like small conventions and stuff like that, there isn't ever a reason for anybody to have any like beef or drama or negativity or perpetual Taros manure, aka bullshit. And you never have any issues. You know what I mean? Everyone gets together and has a good time, and kind of like that's about at the end of the day, right? So it's really cool to see that, from your guys' perspective, you're looking at it like, wow, like, last year we never expected to be in this position, and now you're in that, certain positions that you didn't expect to be, and they're able to push you and, help you excel within the communities and on the platforms that you guys are enjoying working within, you know what I mean? So it's good stuff.
Right. And I mean, like the thing is that eventually, like, I think that like the goal for a lot of people who do create content is to one day produce content full time and have that be their sole job.
Certainly.
Because like there's so much enjoyment out of it, and there's so much passion that goes into it. And so, I've had a sense of direction as far as, all this goes, but like after this weekend, I've had so much more sense of direction, like I have more of an alignment of where I need to be and what I need to do to get there after this weekend. And so, it was a pretty solid weekend, honestly, outside of, the fun and the festivities that, myself and Yizzy had. It was just a good time.
That's what I like to hear, man. That's good.
Yeah.
You definitely did work there. You definitely did work networking. You did a good job.
I mean, it's when you're able to when those two things kind of, it's at the end of the day, I think it probably, especially for you guys as well too, like when you were at that convention or from that perspective, it feels probably less like work when you're there even networking with people, right? That's kind of I think that coincides with that aspect of when you're like, oh, I never expected to be in this position and all of a sudden I'm here. Well, like I said, I think it coincides with the aspect of like you're doing work, quote unquote work, but you're having fun, you're enjoying yourselves within hobbies and stuff that you're doing, right? And then you get to that point, you're like, oh shit, like I didn't even know this was happening realistically all around me, right? You're enjoying yourself, feels less like work. And even though, like Izzy just said, you guys are, there putting in work, you guys are there grinding, you're, like handling each end of it from both your perspectives, right?
Absolutely.
Shiv's there like crushing the social media aspect and helping out in that regard. Izzy's holding everything out, you know what I mean? Like back and forth between one another,
Is there any
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just there, dude. I'm just there to say
he's
hey.
living in the moment. Yeah.
I'm just living in a moment. She was like, hey, meet Yizzy. I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? I'm Yizzy. And then Shiv does all the work. He talks to the guy for like 50 minutes and builds awesome relations. Now I'm just there, to look ugly.
It works.
No, but for real, one thing I really learned.
Sorry to cut you off real fast, Yizzy. Trey, are you working on any projects in particular? Like, do you what big stuff do you have planned, or is that something you can't disclose?
Like, I'm a firm believer in like say like Pat Flynn has his where he says say less and do more sort of deal, right? I'm always kind of just working on a plethora of things. I just hit up Lootbox recently because I seen that he needed some help with some editing perspective. So I'm bouncing back and forth with him right now, figuring out if he needs any work with that in that regard when it comes to like channel banners and YouTube thumbnails and that kind of stuff. Like I said, I just did a promotional video shoot with a company called Prisma TCG. Shout out Prisma. Out in Pickering, Ontario, Canada. I went out there and did some photos for them as well too, and I did like a promo music video kind of deal with that. I'm working on another tattoo video right now that I just did. If you guys didn't see that one, like go and check it out for the Scyther tattoo that I just did. And that's in cross promotion with my friend's tattoo studio that she works at there. Yeah, man, like so much stuff, dude. Like I could go on about, the amount of projects that I have going simultaneously, like 6 different edits sitting in Premiere right now that I'm chopping through, personal ideas that I'm working on, cross promoting and networking with other content creators and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like I am always doing my best to firstly put assisting other people. That's one of my biggest things within the community that I like to do is like I like to kind of just sit in the background and you know what I mean, kind of be a silent spectator and help people as much as I can when I can, because I do know, just like you said earlier, Shiv, like people do enjoy and love, like this even is in reference to the last video that you put out, Yizzy, talking about that creator burnout perspective, you know what I mean? And I know a lot of the times what helps alleviate that burnout is when people have assistance with certain aspects of editing or, social media management or, content creating in any capacity. And it kind of helps take that weight off a little bit, right? Where you're like, you don't got to worry about like, oh shit, like I don't even have to worry about doing a thumbnail. I don't gotta, someone's helping me with this in this regard. So I like doing that. I like helping other people within the community and stuff when it comes to all of those right? So, but yeah, Shiv, to in short synopsis, yeah, I got lots of a few things going on for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, those of you guys who do not know, Trey has done some editing work for Rev too, right?
Yeah, I did it for quite a while, man. Yeah, it was that was tons of fun, man. He's got some awesome people crushing it right now with him. I had to focus a lot on myself, and then as a lot of you guys know within the community, I had some personal health scares that I went through for a little while, and I had to realign and focus on that primarily as much as I wanted to. You know what I mean? Push yourself with content creation. If you're not alive, you can't really make can't make content, right? So I had to kind of realign myself there, and yeah, I was crushing for a while with Nick. It's awesome, man, and he's killing it. And then same thing with lots of other creators in here as well too. There would be people out there, you look at their YouTube channel banners, and you would never know that I did it, right? I just a lot of us we keep that stuff just kind of under wraps, and to each sort of deal and just let it roll, right? So
right.
And
I mean,
thanks 89, I appreciate it, bro.
But before getting into what Yizzy's just saying, I also do want to say that ever since we pretty much had the podcast, I know you've been on our list of guests that we potentially want to have on the podcast, and ever since we've had a lot of the people that are in here, mention your name or message us. A lot of the people that are in here, they're really, really big fans of you. So again, we wanted to have you on the podcast because I think you're pretty, in my honest opinion, I think you're a pretty humble person. So again,
Thanks,
we
man. I
appreciate
appreciate
you
that.
doing the
Yeah,
podcast.
I would say they're less of fans and more of just friends and people that we've been building and networking a community together for a long time. Some of the people in the community I've known for years, said the entire time that I've had my YouTube channel for the most part. You know what I mean? So yeah, at the end of the day, well, like I guess touching base on what you said, what I do on my channel, a lot of the times we do late night legendary live streams, and honestly, what it realistically is, and it's kind of humbling for the amount of like positive feedback I get for it. But at the end of the day, it's just me unwinding from like working all day, whether I'm editing, whether I'm out buying and selling and trading, or whatever it is that I'm doing for that day, because I do a pokey plethora of things. It's kind of like where I come to unwind with friends and people, like-minded individuals within the community, right? So yeah, like just like I said, at the end of the day, everybody that comes to my channel, I consider those people members of my a family, a community, you know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
Somebody's been reading this book.
Absolutely, yeah. He's been reading that book. Super fan.
Oh yeah, yo, well, while we're on that subject matter right there,
Yo,
I'll quickly say, yo, guys, if you do come and attend one of the late night legendary live streams, we are giving out some books from the Brolin Pat Flynn. Shout out Mud Pie. I know she's in here right now. She was the last winner of one of these books. So if you guys want to come and kick it on the late night legendary live streams, we're always bringing awareness to other legendary type people within the community and stuff that they do, and giving away some of Pat Flynn's books because they're sick, bro.
Yeah. 100%.
So back to what I was saying before Shiv.
Back to what you were saying.
Yeah, back to what I was saying, because it's really important. For anybody that's like interested, because we were on a topic of like conventions, I like to kind of like give people like advice when it comes to that. When you're going to conventions, I learned something really important that I feel like everybody should know, and it's to like, somebody came up to me and was like, "Hey, I love your Poke Tea Time, yada yada yada." Like, it gives me like chill bumps just talking to you, and to me, like that's just like mind blowing. So when I'm going to conventions now, I'm taking every humble approach. After that, like it humbled me so much that I want to absolutely go to anybody that I even know and like just ask them about them and get to know them. Be like, hey, like I went
Certainly.
to uh old school or something like that and be like, hey, I saw, aren't you old school from IG? And I knew how that felt when someone did that to me, so I want to do it to everybody else. Like everybody has an IG, and if I know who you are, I want to go to people and I want to encourage everybody to not be afraid. Just go up to someone and be like, hey, aren't you this? Or like get to know them, because it's like that experience is so humbling to like be with one another and like take advantage of that. I know so many people out there will just go walk around the convention and just go back to their hotel. Like seriously, like
Mhm.
if you know somebody, if you see Trey at a convention, like go up to him. Like he's gonna kick it like a rock and roller, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
got you, man. Kick it like a Hitmonlee. Yeah, dude, just like you said, man, utilize those, like, you know what I mean, those conventions or just, those events in general to do just that. Acknowledge people that are there, especially if you know them, you know what I mean? I, for
Mhm.
one, have definitely been, experienced people just kind of like, ignoring you when you know that they know you to a certain extent. Giving
Yeah.
people that kind of like, you know what I mean, that, hey, man, like, just like you said, like, hey, dude, like, I've seen you on IG, I've seen your content. Giving that
Yeah.
people that reinforcement, you never know what you're really doing for people,
Absolutely.
whether you're ignoring them or whether it be you're acknowledging them. You know what I mean?
Right.
It
Yeah.
has residual effects when you acknowledge
Facts.
somebody. You could give somebody some positive feedback, and at the end of the day, you don't even know that you changed a lot of perspectives for them. You know what I'm saying? You could give
100%.
somebody you could ignore somebody to a certain extent and at the same time not even know that you affected their psyche or their mental outlook drastically, so at
Mm.
the end,
Yeah.
I think it just comes down to like a common respect for one another at the end of the day. You can see other creators and stuff like that there that you might not agree with, you know what I mean, their extracurricular
Yeah.
activities will say, and you
Uh-huh.
can still have a mutual respect for one another, right? Being able to be
Absolutely.
at a convention just like you said, Yizzy, and be like, hey man, like having that humble perspective where you're just like acknowledging one another, whether someone has 300,000 or 13 subscribers or followers or whatever it is. At the end of the day, we're all just people within this community. Give each other that due respect, and you'll get it back. You know what I mean? It's a full circle sort of deal.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
really cool to see that you guys are out there, doing that as well too, especially with other creators out there.
Yeah.
Because I can
It's
Yeah.
imagine there was a lot of people like me if I'm wrong, there was probably a lot of people at that convention, like, you know what I mean? You don't know everybody, right? But at the same time, there's some people that you do know, and it's cool to even meet new people, like-minded
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
people
like
there,
this
right?
event was slightly different in the sense that because there was so many more sports people, there was a few like people that were Pokemon people that would just walk up to us at our table, and that was like the best thing because it's like Collecticon. I love Collecticon, but it's literally everyone who loves Pokemon is there, so it's hard to like really like focus on like one person or do everything
Overwhelming.
because there's so many different
It's
things to do.
overwhelming.
But like Poke Miami was there. There was so many Kevin Cranberry, he was also there. Like there was so many different like Pokemon people that were there. Like I could have them come up to the booth and just chill and talk with us, or like I could leave my booth and just hang out with Gem and Pokemon or talk to the people that are just buying and selling stuff there. I could go to like different game shops and talk to them. Just honestly, like the best thing about all of this is being able to connect faces to Instagram accounts. Cause like so many people like don't really have their face, or like they can be. I mean, I can understand why. Like so many people don't really put themselves out there to where like they show themselves on a social media platform. So it's like really cool meeting up with these people and putting a face towards an account. It's like, oh, this is who I'm talking to. Oh, this is someone from my Discord. This is someone on Instagram that's spoken to me before. This is someone that's showed support. That's always like the coolest thing there is. And I mean, like that's why I said, like, when it comes to a lot of these events, like there really is no drama. Like I think like conventions are kind of like like just like how tournaments are a really great way for people to meet each other and compete against each other, or like going to a card shop, you meet a lot of true people, a lot of people. I think
Mm.
conventions are sort of along the same sense because they are essentially what the true essence of card collecting and like the whole card hobby. I think those are like what the true essence is when it comes to the hobby as a whole. So I thought that was like the best part about the overall convention. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, Yizzy.
A good analogy, like real quick, like because you're talking about that, it's like playing pickup sports, like any soccer. You
Oh
play in your
yeah,
local area. You're playing pickup sports. You're kicking it,
Exactly. Yeah.
and then there's like nationals, like regional, and then national, like in baseball. And then that's when you have like the creme of every parts of the world just to come together and like play this
Yeah.
awesome sport that you love together. If anybody like plays sports, but yeah, that's a good reference
yeah,
that I
yeah.
like. First thing that came into my mind because I play soccer.
Good analogy. Yeah,
So
definitely.
going back to last week's podcast, Yizzy. You were supposed to use a Pokemon pickup line. to any women.
Me?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
think both of us were supposed to, but I was just wondering, you have any luck?
Yeah, like
Did
yeah,
you?
just made so many friends and no, I did nothing at all, zero.
Yeah, same.
Big old goose egg, huge goose egg,
Yeah,
like
we
big
took
old.
we came with this, and we finished the weekend with this.
Yeah, but
We took L's.
also yeah, I don't know
I
what to
will
say
say
without exposing you, Ship.
I mean, you can if you want to, but I will say this: I was the drippiest dude at that convention. Outside of
Oh my gosh, here we go again.
outside of going twice
What were you
and his
rocking? What were you
metallic
rocking?
jacket. Outside of going, shout out to goingtwice.com. Outside of his, metallic jacket, I think I won. I think I had the most drip there.
Dude, yo, going to Travis's jacket was just too OP, man. Like
It was. I will say that it was OP.
he bought it at Ross. I saw it. So our Travis going twice. If you don't know who he is, he's like a big jeweler and like consignment guy. He was wearing this huge jacket and it was just blinding because it's like chromatic effects, all rainbows of the world, and just brightness in your eyes. And it was a hoodie, and he wore nothing under it, just that jacket,
Yeah.
all dripped
Sick.
out.
I love it.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
it.
yeah.
That
That's
was
boss.
drip. I couldn't compete. Yezzy's gone. But I mean,
There goes Dizzy at that 30-minute mark, yo.
There he goes. Always
There goes.
ruining the podcast by
Hey,
doing that.
he'll be back.
And he's
I
back.
mean, you gotta look forward to.
You
I
know
mean, you
you
gotta
cut
look
out.
forward to every time, right? Like
Yeah,
it
you
ain't
gotta
it,
look
it
forward.
ain't it ain't
Oh.
Pokey Tea time without it.
Yeah, at this point, we always have some sort of technical difficulties in this podcast. It's part of it now. It's just a part
No,
of it.
mine like cuts out. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's this chat. I don't know.
It's just probably because you got two fresh dudes up here, and you can't compete.
Man,
camera's
shut
like-
yo.
Your camera's like, dude, just turn it off. Just turn it off. That's what's happening here.
Whatever.
But yeah, I mean, like, there was a lot of dudes there. But I will say,
Yeah, I
You
can
know what?
imagine.
What was the funniest thing like there? So I was talking to somebody and he's like, "Yo, I'm going to the cruise." He's like, "I invited all the ladies in there," and I said, and I was like, "All four of them." I was like, "All two of them, right?" He's like, "Nah, man, all four of them." I was like,
Yeah.
"Bro."
But I will say this: all the women that showed up are attractive. So hey,
Yeah,
Bonus.
yeah.
and taken. So
Yeah.
yeah, taken. You know anything about taking women, Shiv?
Know anything about
Oh
a
man,
Bro,
Respect
you
with
are
my knee.
exposing me.
Literally
It's not
just
okay. At
vacation.
this point, it's not
The
okay. At
knee
this point, you're gonna
slapper,
get me in
too
trouble.
good.
No, I mean, but like,
What?
it was a good time. I wore the drippiest fits. Dude, I don't think I ever told you this, Izzy, but there was a brief moment on Sunday where I think it was Sunday. Yeah, Sunday, where I thought I lost $1,500.
What? How?
It's not a good time.
So, basically, I did, on the yacht, I did my sale with Shot Millie Pops. I sold my phone card for $1,500. Outside of the normal consignments, by the way, myself and Charizard King did like a little over $100,000 in sales with literally no one from the actual convention. It was through his story, so it didn't really count. But I put my money in my pocket, right? And those guys who do not know, I actually lost my ID on the yacht. Yizzy ended up finding it for me. And so when we got back to the hotel, and this was like later on at the night, between 12 to 2 o'clock in the morning at the hotel, I was like, you know what? I'm not in the right state of mind. So I went ahead and put my $1,500 in my camera bag. And I woke up the next day freaking out. I flipped my entire room over, and then I put it back, obviously. And I could not find it. So I went downstairs, went to security, couldn't find it. 100 Charizards, ended up finding it in that camera bag. And I was like, you found it. I was like, how? Like, the thing is that I didn't, like, it's one of those types of moments where it's
Whose
like,
camera
hey,
bag? Your camera bag?
my camera bag. Yeah, it's like, it's
Where
one of those
was the
types
camera bag?
it was with me the entire time. It's just that, like,
Oh.
when I took it over with me to the venue, Andy was like, 100 Charizard Kings. He was like, hey, did you check this pocket right here? I said, I thought I did. So then he opened it up, pulls the money out. I'm like, bro, you gotta be kidding me. It's like one of those
jeez.
moments where
It's
like,
evidently become a reoccurring scenario for you to lose things at conventions, to the best of my
It
knowledge.
does. It
I think
happened.
I
It
think
happened
there
at
was a little
Collecticon.
misplacing circumstantial situation that arose. Yeah, you with a briefcase with a couple bucks inside of it in value, maybe $1 or $2, maybe
It
150
happens every single
$7
time.
to
It
be
happens
exact.
every single
Right.
time. It needs a
around there.
stop, but essentially,
$7.
but yeah, essentially, like what had happened was that it's like one of those moments where it's like, hey, I'm gonna put this over here because I lost my ID on the boat and I don't want this falling on my pocket, so I'm gonna put it in a safe place where I'll forget, right? So that's just what
This guy.
happened.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how
I
it goes.
freaked
Been
out.
there.
I was freaking out that morning. I was like,
I
man,
freak out too. $1,500. Sheesh.
yeah.
Yeah.
You still haven't thanked me for finding your wallet.
I thanked you on the boat. You
Like,
just don't remember because you had a good
You,
night.
yeah, you were like, Pat's on back. All right, let's move on. I saved this man a fight. Like, he was going to give up. Like, we were about to exit the boat. And Shiv
No,
was
we
like,
weren't.
I can't.
Why do you lie?
Yeah,
We
no,
were
there was
still on
like
the boat for, a
20
solid
minutes
hour.
left, Shiv. There was like
we were
15,
on the
20.
boat for a solid hour. I don't want to hear it.
Trey, you see how he thanks me? You see?
I
He's
thanked
like,
you on the
yo,
boat.
in a roundabout way, he's like, yo, thank you, bro. He's like, thanks, man. I
Yeah,
just want to let you know,
exactly.
thank you.
Exactly. Like,
just
this guy was
doesn't
going to
remember.
give up. This guy,
He just
okay, listen,
doesn't
guys.
remember.
This guy was gonna Shiv was gonna give up. He's like, Yizzy, I lost my wallet. Like, I don't know how I'm going. Blah 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 blah. Like, he
I
giving
didn't
up.
lose
I'm
my
like,
wallet. I
bro,
lost my ID. Big difference.
your ID, same thing.
That's no,
ID.
no.
Okay, he lost his
Now you're
ID. The
changing
way he's
stories,
gonna
man.
get back
First
to
it was
the
20 minutes.
airport. He lost his
Man,
ID.
this
Okay,
guy.
fine. ID. He lost his ID. We're ready to get
Everyone-
off. He's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm like,
Everyone put the
let's
cap
find it.
emoji in the chat right now because Yizzy's capping right now. Capping so hard.
And then
Cap.
he said, this is true. This is true fact. And then he's like, basically going to give up on your wallet
I didn't
or on
give
your
up.
ID. On your
You-
ID.
Which isn't my wallet or my ID?
Your ID. Your ID. It was your ID.
You need
his
to straighten your
ID.
story.
You know what? I'm not finishing the story anymore.
Okay, good.
You can suck it.
So what you're saying is that you didn't use any Pokemon pickup lines on the boat. You didn't do it at the hotel. Nothing at all.
Bro, all the women were taken. I'm a gentleman. Ain't that right, Trey?
To the best of my knowledge, I don't think you're going to overstep any boundaries when it comes to any boundaries crossed.
Facts.
When it comes to
Ooh, that's
talking
a good
to.
one. That's a good
Facts.
pun.
I would dare you to
Bro.
find me
Yizzy,
sliding
you
towards
missed it.
DMs like
You
that.
missed it. You just missed it. He
Good
just said
pun.
I'll give
boundaries
someone
crossed.
$10,000
Boundaries
to
crossed.
find something
Bro,
like that.
you missed that clever pun. He said boundaries
Missed that
crossed.
Pokemon.
Get out of
It's
here.
off the top, Holmes.
I heard
I
that.
got you.
You gotta
With
I got
Jerome,
you.
though.
There we
I
go.
got you.
Yes, he's like
All right.
Tyrion Lannister.
But
He
that-
drinks and he knows things.
but
That's
That
a
yeah,
good
man. Like
analogy. That's a good
that's good.
analogy.
That's good. Having a certain if I can if I can interest probably for Destin to just I guess there and realign and refocus on why you guys were there in the first place to a certain extent. Unless of course one of the primary reasons was to find some legendary lists, and then you just didn't happen to. You know what I mean?
I think
If there's
Yizzy
minimal
and
in
I-
attendance, then it's really hard to justify.
I think
No,
it
go
was-
ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say like.
Oh
like,
God, just
with Yizzy and I, it's more like we're there to do business, but at the same time we're there to have equal amounts of fun in the process.
Of course, bro. You gotta. I think there's like a fine line, and then sometimes it's okay to kind of bounce back and forth between that fine line between business and pleasure. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Of course.
Mhm.
I
Respectively
will
so.
say-
Shiv,
I will say someone from the convention did slide into my DMs today, so
well, you make sure you're a legendary gentleman and treat them with the utmost respect, and then I can only imagine, good sir, that you may perhaps continue on that conversation right there. You know?
I mean,
There
just
you
a little.
go.
We'll see at the next December convention in Collectors Con. So we'll see.
Oh my gosh, I'm disgusted. Can we move on to the main topic right now?
Disgusted?
Oh, let's go.
No, we still.
This
still
guy
on this.
Shiv,
We're
I'm not
still-
going to expose you at all.
Okay,
no, this
guys,
is not the stream to
I'm
expose
also,
Shiv.
so speaking of like things I've also lost, I actually lost my succulent. So like, it's an inside joke between myself and Don Diego. So, Don Diego Trading put up like this picture of a succulent on her Instagram. And for those guys who do not know what a succulent is, it's kind of like a desert plant. And I was like, don't tell me, like I had messaged her. I was like, don't tell me you're one of
Do it
those
with me,
crazy
Trey.
cat ladies that has like a bunch of succulents. So
Do it with me, Trey.
so she
No,
basically,
I was actually looking for, I can't hate because I was just looking for my little oddish succulent holder. It's like a 3D printed mini oddish, and you put
Ooh,
a
I've seen
succulent in
those.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen those.
Yeah, it's around here somewhere, but I had knocked it over and it wasn't a good time. I was just
Trey
looking.
almost did it. Trey went, oh, there it is.
You
And
couldn't see the other
so
one.
basically, she was like, yeah, I have like 10 succulents. So I was like, okay. So she started spamming my DMs with like pictures of different plants, and so it wasn't 10, it was like 20. So it was like this inside joke that we had. It's hard to explain an inside joke, but like basically she surprised me with the inside joke, and I was like, all right, bet. And like it's like this big, so I was like walking around everywhere with like the most drippiest fit there is, and then with the succulent. So like literally if there was a girl, especially specifically at the DAP Sports booth, and then the Show Your Slabs
Shiv.
booth. Yeah. Like if you walk around, people will literally ask you questions. It's like an icebreaker. So like those of you single dudes in here, if you're going somewhere, make sure you wearing the most drippiest fit there is. And when I say drippy, it means things that you're comfortable in, things that expresses yourself to the best degree, and yeah, things that just pretty much just say who you are as a person. And then walk around with the plant. You will literally have someone walk up to you and they will start up a conversation with you. And I lost it.
I can imagine.
I lost it the same night that I thought I lost my $1,500. And I'm sad. I don't know where it is. Some dude out there probably has it, and
It's
they're
at
probably
Parks
getting
and
girls.
Rec.
What do you mean?
I found it.
No.
You left it at the Marriott. I picked it up because I was going to give you your succulent. And yeah, and I was going to meet you at the bar, and you didn't make it there. Shiv didn't make it there, guys.
I did.
I wonder why.
From
He didn't
12
make
to
it
2
there.
o'clock in the
I left
morning.
it right there, and yeah, it just dropped on the table and just was gone. Then I left it there.
You
Sorry,
broke
man.
it? You found that was you. You broke it.
It was
and
in
you
my
stole
pocket,
you
and
stole
I
it.
was like, "Hey,
You
where's
stole it.
Shiv?"
You were like, hey, I'm going to go to this bar with this plant because, hey, Shiv has the most drip right now, and now I have a plant, and now I can get anyone that I want with this plant. No.
You stole his leaf
No.
energy, bro.
No,
You
I
stole his
I
leaf
gave it to
energy.
Jim Mint and Lynn. I'm like, "Hey, this is Shiv's succulent on the table." Boom. And I dropped it.
that
And I
explains-
dropped it. I fumbled it, and it
explains-
hit the ground. And I'm like, "That's game over."
That
That thing
explains
is
why.
absolutely.
That explains why.
I did you a favor, Shiv.
That
You
explains
took
why-
that. You took that little succulent plant everywhere you went. Like just nice. Like we were eating at the cruise, and he's just like, and just sets it there
No,
everywhere
I
he
just walked
went.
everywhere with it. People
Everywhere
were-
he went
No, you
for
just,
all 200 people there to
Dude,
look at.
You literally basically downgraded my drip. That was part of the fit.
Oh, the succulent? Yeah.
Yeah, at that
The
point, it was
one-
part of the fit.
Wait. So Don Diego gave it to you, right?
Yeah.
Did she give it to you at the beginning of the event, or?
She gave it to me Saturday morning.
Yeah, Saturday morning. He took this thing everywhere. Everywhere he went. Succulent at the table,
I had it
freaking
for
at the
one
bar,
day. I had it for
at the
one day.
Marriott hotel room, in the
12
shower.
hours.
Succulent plant everywhere. Don't ask how I know it's
It
in the
wasn't
shower.
in the shower. It was like 12. It was 12 hours. It went
Okay.
from like that morning.
Yo,
all the way
what
to
about this
now.
main topic?
Okay, main topic. But before we get into it, because I like the banter talk. Should we continue the banter talk, or should we get into the main topic?
Whatever you want, bro. This is your guys'
Yeah,
deal.
this
You let me
is
know.
time.
Yeah, let's just get right into it. We'll talk more about this
I
later.
make the
off-
joke, like, we talk about everything under the moon until like 30-40 minutes. It was like, oh yeah, Pokemon
Oh, yeah.
cards.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
we're
that's
ta-
it. Pokemon stuff.
We're about to not be a Pokemon podcast, just like the Shadowless podcast. Shout out to Shadowless podcast.
There you go.
Oh
Just
yeah,
be
I
a-
low key wanted to be a good guy. I was trying to give him his succulent because he took that thing, guys, everywhere he went. When we were
Yeah,
eating,
yeah.
like it was like,
were
if you look to the
"Dang,
side, you
Shiv's
took
getting
a
all the
picture with
girls
Shiv.
this."
That succulent plant was absolutely everywhere,
Dude,
with his
even-
bag on top of his case.
Dude, even
It
the
was
waitresses-
everywhere.
Even the
now
waitresses
it's
were
gone.
asking about it, dude.
And
It's an
now it's gone.
icebreaker. It's an icebreaker. Like I'm saying, guys, hey, carry a plant. It's an icebreaker. Telling you,
Yeah.
you walk
Yeah.
into a bar, I tell you right, and you're wearing the most drippiest fit there is to that expresses you.
This thing
and
was
you
about
carry a
this big,
plant,
guys.
You carry a plant, easy. You're gonna have
make
someone come up
inquiries
to
when
you.
you're walking around
you
with
don't
wild
even need-
vegetation. Yeah.
You don't even need Pokemon pickup lines. You just have to have that, and you're good.
Sure.
100%. 100%.
Hey, I would be
Yeah.
impressed if it was like the one Trey said, like you pull it out and it becomes an oddish, you know?
Yeah, right. I'm telling you, you got to get one of those for a little succulent. Just buy them. They're on Amazon. You can get them, or support someone on Etsy. They make little, Oddishes or your little Bulbasaur or something. If you're at a
I'll just get
Pokemon
another-
convention,
I'll just get another succulent.
there you go. There's a couple out there, I can imagine.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, well, let's get into the main topic before Yizzy continues to ruin my life.
God, Yizzy.
This guy tries to
Jeez.
always ruin my life. I'll say
Stop
that.
ruining his life, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. You just
Jeez.
had that succulent plant everywhere I went.
Here I am getting
Crazy.
sponsorships and just handing you money out the blue, and you're like, "How did they get this?" And I'm like, "Bro, we got a sponsorship." And you're like, "Oh, okay. Well, how did you do that?" And then I walk you over to meet our sponsor, and you're like, "Oh, well, thank you for sponsoring us."
I spent so much money at his booth before you said that. I'm like, that's a guy I spent like a couple of stacks on.
Yeah, just a couple stacks. No, but guys, yeah, definitely go check out Prodigy Games. Definitely go check out TCG Stadium. Just a little bit about TCG Stadium. They are currently running probably the biggest giveaway we've probably ever seen. Right? They are giving away a
Fossil
first
booster box.
edition Fossil booster box. Literally, no one was on their rate. Like, no one was talking about them before, but now everyone's talking about them. Because of this.
I mean,
giveaway.
I would say I would want to hope at the end of the day if someone's giving away a first edition fossil booster box, it's gonna, some minimal amount, if not a maximum amount of attention is gonna be,
Yeah,
it's
even
gonna rise for such a thing.
like big collectors like Pokemon Network and people like them were even like tagging people, and I'm like, what the heck? That's a big giveaway.
We can't win it. I'd feel bad if we won it. It'd be weird,
Yeah. But I mean, guys, let's get into the main topic this evening. It's a pretty spicy topic. Why is it so hard to complete Pokemon Master sets? And we're gonna explain why it's so difficult. Why is it so hard? So, like, just to give you guys a brief context as to why we chose this topic, I forgot who the person. No, it was the Golden Gibbon. That's who it was. Shout out to Golden Gibbon on Instagram. They put this up on their story, and that's where I asked them if we could discuss this. Obviously shouting them out. So shout out to them. Basically, if we go back to like the WotC era, you could complete almost an entire master set by just opening up one full booster box. If you were one of those privileged kids, you were able to complete a master set, right? Nowadays, it is a lot more difficult to do so. You have to go through multiple packs. You have to go through multiple booster boxes to be able to go through an entire, to be able to complete an entire master set. Like Cosmic Eclipse, that's very difficult. Like nowadays, you can complete like two master sets of jungle before you even finish up an entire master set of a modern set. Like, I don't know, Evolving Skies or
271 cards in Cosmic Eclipse. 271.
Exactly.
That's just Cosmic Eclipse.
It's so much more difficult these days to be able to do that. So, that brings us to the main question: is Pokemon more expensive today than what it was back in the day? Is like Pokemon not affordable to even the average collector anymore?
I'll just to interject, I suppose. I mean, I think at the end of the day, what it realistically boils down to is people's personal Poke preference. You know what I'm saying? You have people that thoroughly enjoy just cracking packs and chasing the cards that they want to chase from the set that way, specifically, whether they pull it or not. They're still not going to buy the single individual card. You have people who crack open packs and then eventually they just get tired of trying to pull cards that they're not getting and buy into the singles. And therein, I feel like a lot of people overspend, which kind of screws up the next set that they want to kind of grow. I think that's kind of what it's like, that backtracking for people who are trying to grow or like complete master sets of like we'll say modern stuff recently, right? For prime example, Cosmic Eclipse, Lost Thunder, sets like that. Yeah, like you have like people that are cracking packs and then they backtrack because they're like, oh man, like I didn't pull these cards in this set, and now you're trying to keep up with the next set while you're also trying to now recuperate and buy some singles from the set you were trying to complete before. I think yeah, there's a lot of different variables and aspects to when it comes to doing it, but at the bottom line, I think it's kind of like personal preference. But even with personal preference, yeah, man, like I've tried to complete master sets with some modern stuff recently, and here's a prime example. So this is pretty much a near complete set of jungle that we just recently completed on my channel. We're doing two different ones. I'm giving one of them away like live on the channel.
Nice.
And I was able to complete a jungle master set for like, man, and I think it was under $300, $300 or $400 in lightly play condition, obviously, right? You know what I mean? And this is just from doing your due diligence and buying singles and stuff like that out there. I wanted to do Evolving Skies when this set came out. I'm like, you know what? I haven't done a master set in a little while. I'd really like the cost of that Rayquaza card alone is like I could complete a jungle set for the cost of just that Rayquaza card. So I feel even a lot of modern cards in raw condition you know what I mean, in comparison to some of the older stuff. And again, that's
Mhm.
personal taste. Is making it difficult. Yeah, definitely difficult for people to justify completing an entire master set. Just like you said, is it getting too expensive? I mean, I don't know too many people that have, you know what I mean, a couple $1,000 or maybe like $1,500 to just throw at a Pokemon set and be like, completed, next one. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
So like
I
it just
want
the reason why I asked that is because like it just makes it seem as if like we hear this sort of comment that happens fairly often where people say that vintage is just unaffordable. But like when you really sit down and think about it and you look at the actual cost of being able to complete an entire master set for modern, it just makes it so much more difficult to be able to do so versus the modern side. Like it makes it seem modern is super affordable in comparison, rightfully so. It's just that's just the sort of comparison that we have. And the thing is that the jungle master set is still going to retain its value a little bit better or a lot better than, let's say, you trying to complete a master set of a modern set today. And this is not, any of us, we're not trying to tell you guys how to really collect.
no,
It's just that we're just here to try to
not at
make
all.
sure
Everyone
you're
collects
getting,
different.
yeah, we're just here to try to make sure that you guys are essentially getting the best bang for your buck.
Yeah.
That is pretty crazy
Definitely.
though. Like the
Yeah.
perspective you put in the ratio between that jungle set and the Rayquaza, which is like,
Oh, dude, like, yeah, like, and it was a prime example that I was just speaking about. I just did a late night legendary live stream where we were talking about that specifically about the cost. I spent under $800 on a stack of like some decent modern stuff, like amazing stuff, obviously in lightly played and moderately played condition. I think just going back to what Shiv said in regards to people saying, like, and I hate to say like that generic, like people are saying, but like it's spoken frequently about and within the community that modern is difficult to purchase or obtain even nowadays with prices fluctuating from what they were to what they are now to going back up and down. If you do your due diligence and you're truly like out there looking for cards, whether it be on local, you know what I mean, brick and mortar location websites or trading with individuals within the community, it is attainable. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
cards are in lightly and moderate. This is what I was saying was it's more or less people are comparing those prices of like mint condition cards or PSA prices because we see that so much, obviously, right? The PSA
yes,
condition of cards or prices of cards. Whereas I just paid this Azumarill right here Neo Azumarill, we paid, and it's on there. I have the receipts for everything. I paid $12 for that card. We
exactly.
went
oh,
through like, well, they're a prime example of some other cards I went through. This Dragonite from Fossil. Here's an example, right? People will pay an exuberant amount of money for a Fossil Unlimited pack, and I bought a lightly played Dragonite from Fossil for $50, 49.99, and
yeah,
that's like the biggest chase card out of Jungle, right? So I think at the end of the
even
day, it's
fifty
just like
dollars for the pack to be
chips.
exact.
See, yeah, see exactly. There you go, right? And
I
and
just
it's
sold
and it
one.
fluctuates too, right? Yeah, see, boom, there you go. And it just goes back to like what Shiv said. It's just like that comparable aspect where people are like, "Oh my God, it's really difficult to obtain these cards." If you do your due diligence and you're not super picky about like, you know what I mean, the top tier condition of them, you're going to be able to have that nostalgic binder that you can flip through and enjoy, right? But like you
Uh-huh.
said, everyone collects differently, right? Everyone is
Mm-hmm.
entitled to collect how they want, right? But I thoroughly enjoy helping people, show people that like it's super obtainable for especially some modern stuff or sorry, some vintage stuff compared to modern. And it's difficult, man. Like even some of the newer cards, like the Gyarados out of Evolving Skies, I've been chasing that card out of Evolving Skies, and I'm at that point myself now where I'm like. I'm not gonna spend any more on this, right? I just opened up an entire Evolving Skies booster box live, and it was actually unbelievably bad. Like I never complained about pulls. I'm grateful for every pack that I crack, as I always say. But I was
Uh-huh.
like, what is going on?
Right.
And I was like, I could have just bought, all the Gyarados cards I wanted from the set and been much more content, right? So again, like I
Yeah.
said, it's about how people collect, right?
Yeah, I mean the
Yeah.
caveat to like that argument, which isn't the argument, is that people want that nostalgic feel of cracking the packs. So like they're giving
Definitely.
you an
Oh,
alternate
dude.
method in terms of like actually collecting. So like exactly, so that's the argument that Shiv gets all the time and that we talk about is that they're like, but we don't get to open the
I
packs.
think
But
my
like,
whole
what?
comment
I
to
mean,
that.
at the end of the day, bro, it's the camaraderie that comes with it. It's the camaraderie, it's the community aspect, it's the involvement,
Right.
it's the enjoyment that you get out of being involved in something like that as well too.
Yeah.
Trust me, bro. At the end of the day, if I had hundreds of dollars to just be putting towards booster packs for people to crack and stuff, man, I'd be doing it every day. You know what I mean? I did it a few times and there was nothing similar to that in that regard, right? It doesn't even compare when you buy a pack and open it yourself. You know what I mean? It's always that enjoyable aspect because you right then and there, you're sharing a moment with a bunch of other people. You're sharing with people with like-minded individuals within the Pokemon community,
Uh
and
huh.
then you're also sharing with the person that's cracking the pack, right?
Right.
When you buy into that, that's invaluable no matter how much the pack
See,
is,
I
right?
I
Whether
have
you
no
pull a
problems with
holographic
that.
Dragonite or you pull An Aerodactyl. What's that? Sorry.
I said like I have no problems with that. Like I think my
Yeah.
whole concern with like the whole opening packs thing is
Hmm.
like I understand the whole argument with or the statement with like, hey, I do this out of nostalgia, but like at what point is it no longer nostalgia and you've become so desensitized that you're just opening it for other
When you're out of
reasons,
money.
right? Like no, well,
Just kidding.
not that you're out of money. Like you can still have money. You can open up packs. It's just like that whole sometimes I feel like people kind of like hide behind that, oh, it's nostalgic for me to open up packs. But like if you're opening up packs every single week, that it's no longer nostalgic. You know, like I
Mm,
I would say
I
like
think that
at the end of the day, if you have a significant amount of money that's not going to affect your you know what I mean, your it's not going to be detrimental to your your existence or your finances if you're buying into it. I always say to each their own, right? Always, no matter what, like to each their own entirely. But I can definitely see like yeah, like I look at it this way too, right? Like your question was like, at what point does it come or not become nostalgic anymore? Or what point does it become, you know what I mean? Just kind of like a repetitive process. It's not even nostalgic anymore. I think if you have the ability to reoccurringly buy into these things, then you're probably not even worried about the financial aspect. And you maybe some people are just reliving that nostalgia every single time. Think about like if you were a kid and you had 36 packs to crack open, you'd be over the friggin' moon. You know what I mean? You'd be batshit hyped about it, right? Even nowadays, if I had 36 packs of jungle to crack open, I knew I could crack open and afford to crack open one every single week. I'd be over the moon about it. But like you said, there are definitely variables in which I see people spending an exuberant amount of money on cards and then they turn around and complain. They're like, "Oh, well, I didn't get this card." And it's like, well, then are you really living for the nostalgia or are you really living for the value of that you're
that's
going to
true too.
potentially pull out of here? Are you
Yeah.
gambling or are you actually enjoying the nostalgia? And that's kind of where that I think that divide gets created, right? Where people are like, "Oh, I didn't pull this card." Like, if you have the audacity to complain about not getting a good pull after you spend some money that somebody has no control over the card that you're pulling out of there, then you should probably, like you said, at that point, maybe reconsider, buying
How
into
you
stuff like
collect it.
that, right?
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's talk about number. I don't know if you have anything to follow up with that, but like, what amount can we give a realistic amount in terms of like booster boxes of how to complete the set?
Which sets or which set are you
So
talking about?
so in vintage, you could open maybe a
Like one or two.
booster box
Maybe a
at
booster box
2
and a half.
max and complete
One
the
or
whole
two.
set?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'd say one, a lot of the time you're going to be like really, really close. And then instead of buying another box, you just buy whatever singles you miss because they're so minimalistic, right? You crack the
Mhm.
box, maybe miss one or two hollows, a few commons, uncommons, maybe if that. I probably doubt it, but you know what I mean?
Right.
And then, just recoup that way. Instead of cracking another box, you just buy the singles, maybe, right? But
And
sorry, you
then
were saying. Mhm.
and then like compare that to modern. How many boxes do you need to crack to complete the set?
Man,
There's no
think
telling.
about like, man, I when Lost Thunder came out, I was like, I am completing this set, and then like four booster boxes into it, I'm like, fa no, nope,
4
I don't.
booster box later.
Yeah, yeah. Full booster box. Yeah, then I was like done. I think it's different, right? Because like we said, there's like that draw between like people who are, and it's not a bad thing in any regard. It's just some people are able to afford that exuberant amount of boxes and cases and stuff like that, crack it,
Right.
and it doesn't matter how many boxes it takes. They're just gonna do it until they complete it because they enjoy that chase. They can afford
Uh,
that chase, and for them, it's not anything. And then you have the
right.
collectors who are like, you know what, I really want to complete this set, but I have to do it strategically. I've got to do it like, okay, I have cards from a previous set that I can utilize as trade fodder, and I can trade towards
Yeah.
other singles that I don't pull, and
Right.
and build it up that way, right? But
Right.
yeah, nowadays for modern man, I think it's safe to say it's a probably an agreeable perspective. It takes quite a few boxes to crack open before you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're pulling
Yeah.
all the cards that
Yeah.
you want.
I want to say like I don't know. Somebody in the chat said 50 boxes, and I would believe it. Which is
That's
like
a lot.
let's do some math here. 50 times like what can you get those for? Like 140? 50 times
Yeah,
140. That's $7,000 just to complete Evolving Skies
You
for
could
this
buy a
guy.
full fossil box, I think. What does a normal unlimited fossil box go for, Yizzy?
7,000. That's about right.
Exactly. Exactly.
that's
You could
Travis, you
buy
9.
bought one
you could
for
buy a
yeah,
factory
7,000.
sealed fossil box if you just stay away from trying to like complete and open a master set. Like I understand the whole hunt with like
I don't
being
know.
able to
50
open.
boxes is kind of fun.
I don't know.
Right?
Like I'm a little bit
Would
different.
you
Like
rather have? All right, chat. Let's check this out. Would you rather have open 50 boxes, right?
of evolving
Mhm.
skies
50,
back to back to back to
50,
back to back.
Yeah,
50 times 36. That's 1,800 packs.
quick maths.
Or would you rather have one unlimited fossil box?
See,
One unlimited fossil box, 100%. That's from my
Oh,
perspective.
don't sway the people, Trey.
I'm just about that, yo. I was just throwing out
Sheesh.
my personal Polka perspective. You know what I mean? That's just me. That's me as a
Everybody
trainer.
loves you here. Not everybody's gonna say
and the
fossil
thing is,
box.
hold on. You don't even have to, like, you can even open it. Like, it would be the same cost. Like, I mean, because, like, at the end of the day, if you're opening up 50 boxes, you're making some money. You're losing money. Like, you're losing money. Let's forget about
You're
money.
losing
You're
money.
still
If you
losing
look at
money
it from
for
a
equipment
realistic
creators.
perspective, like I always look at it as like the probability of you
It's the
losing
cost of
money,
having
like
fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly it, bro. That's it.
So
That's
like,
it. It's
so like,
cost of having.
if you even open up a fossil box, what, like, for most of us that are adults, right? Like, are you gonna have more enjoyment opening up a fossil box versus 50 evolving skies boxes? Like, in my honest opinion, like, I would just get really tired of seeing the same sort of artworks from every single pack when it comes to evolving skies. Like, it just wears on you. Like, when you get a GX or an Ultra card, and it's like, this is the 50th card that I pulled this time around, like, I don't even want this anymore. You know, versus,
When I
like,
had my first shop location, we were always like sets would come out, whether it be Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, whatever it may be, and yeah, you would definitely get like, and it sounds bad to kind of say like you would get tired of a set. It sounds like it's a spoiled thing to say, you know what I mean? But from that perspective, that's part of the business, right? Is you're opening up an exuberant amount of packs, right? Any shop owner, LGS store owner knows, right? And that's exactly how it goes. But yeah, like I think at a point you're just gonna get like tired of it, and I think after 50, man, I would think after like 20 boxes, I would want to hope that you can complete the evolving sky set at that point. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah. I don't know. It's
you
just
just
like, I wouldn't say like spoiled. It's just more like I'm super nostalgic of the things that come from my past. Like,
definitely.
opening up packs from my past, like playing video games from the past, like playing, like, just doing all the stuff that I have from the past, just seeing that kind of stuff. It just,
Way
like,
more
brings back
valuable.
that,
It's way more
it brings
valuable.
back those memories. And so, like,
Mhm.
that's why I don't really open up packs unless it's like like a holiday set or like an anniversary based set, you know? Like, it's like, okay, like, I went
That's
all year without having to open up stuff. This is like my way of treating myself. Like, I'm gonna remember what I have. Whereas, like, there's a lot of people out there that open up packs and they can't even tell me what when they pulled like the biggest hit out of something, you know? Like, I don't know. It's just weird for me.
yeah,
That's just
man. At the
that's
end of the
just
day, I
me.
think
That's no judgment
the
against
most
anyone else.
yeah, the I think the entire thing at the end of it is like nostalgia is probably the most valuable aspect from this from that perspective, right? I think nostalgia brings the most value to you because like at the end of the day, it just brings back that flood of memories, from your childhood, why you kind of got into these hobbies and stuff like that. Prime example, Shiv, like bro, I went out, I thought of you right away. I was garage sailing this weekend and I
Yes,
found
I
these at a
saw that. Dude,
you know
yes.
what I mean? Like this, like brought back. I don't care, like you know what I mean. Like the fact that these were whatever, like 25 cents realistically each.
I have them right
That
there.
brought back that like flood of nostalgia and that value. Yeah, see, there you go. You got the case right there. Yeah. That value, that nostalgia right there is something I'd rather buy into those than buy into, you know what I mean, something that I'm just gonna be like, yo, I'm enjoying this. This is awesome. But like, you're kind of killing two Pidgeys with one stone when you buy something that you're enjoying collecting, and then at the same time, it's
That's
bringing you that
terrible.
nostalgic
Why
value
would
too,
you
right?
wish that upon a Pidgey?
It's an analogy for kill two birds with one stone.
I'm just
Getting
kidding.
two things done at one
Good
time.
job, Yizzy. You took it too seriously, bro.
Hey man, that's what I'm
Trying
here
to have
for.
a Pokemon.
I'm
You know what I'm
messing with
saying?
him, okay? I'm
I
just
know.
lighting it
I
up,
got
okay?
you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Got you. I got you.
I was thinking
But yeah,
about
I
all the
mean,
poor Pidgeys. That's all.
oh, yo, bro, think about how many Pidgeys Ash threw rocks at. You know what I'm saying?
He's
There
right
you go.
about that
Oh
one.
yeah,
He's
back
right.
to sorry to ruin your
No. I think
That's
he
right. You didn't
covered
ruin
that up
anything,
pretty
bro. You didn't ruin
extensively.
nothing.
I think that covered up pretty extensively. I also, before we want, start wrapping up this podcast, I do want to kind of expose Yizzy. Sunday,
Whoa. First
Sunday in Tampa. There's 3 days for actual, being at a booth, being at a convention. Yizzy did not show up at all on Sunday. He stayed
Nope.
in bed because he's with the tummy hurt.
My tummy hurt. It did. I ate something really bad.
You put a bunch of Garbodor in your stomach. Did you eat a bunch of Trubbish, bro? And you had a rumbly in your tumbly?
Yeah,
He just ate
exactamente.
the right things, but in like the wrong combination, and that's what
That'll
set
happen,
him
bro.
off.
Yeah,
That'll
because
happen.
sometimes in the morning you need to just drink water and eat
Yeah, you
bread,
could. Yeah.
and I chugged a whole orange juice on an empty stomach
Yeah, that's not
with
good. Mhm.
a lot of bacon and sausage.
This man
Put 'em around the
did
wrong
not
way,
show
but doing
up
it.
at all. This guy,
Nope.
I was there. I was ready to go. Each day, every day, I was ready to go. I was ready to do some business. Yizzy, Polish Rob. Shout out to Polish Rob. he was there. He gets there at 2 o'clock, a lot later than everyone else, like a lot later than when the actual venue opened up. But like he still got there. By the way, Matt, Polish Rob, Yizzy, they all shared a room together. So like Yizzy got there late, and he's only like
I
250
didn't get there
feet
at
away from
all.
the
What do
venue.
you mean late?
Actually,
I was not
he
existing.
didn't show up. He didn't show up point blank. Period.
Beyond fashionably late.
This man was like, hey, I'm not gonna even show up. I'm not gonna even say bye to Shivam. Like, that was the last. Like, Saturday was the last day I saw Yizzy. Exactly. Saturday was the last day I saw Yizzy.
Yeah, it was sad. I'm never gonna do that again.
He stole my succulent and then did not even say goodbye. That's how bad.
Bro, that succulent needed to die. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
before I just wanted to touch base quick too on something that Andy and Son said in the chat as well too. He said it was just a really good point that I just read as well too. He said back in my day, ultra rares weren't a thing. We got excited for holos, and nowadays holos are so overlooked and shamed. Exactly. It kind of sucks how things are. It's either a full art or the pulls were crap, right? And that's that honestly that hit the nail right on the head from different perspective. Because like man, Evolving Skies, that Entei holo that's in that set. Bro, when I first pulled that thing, I had no idea, right? A lot of the sets when they come out nowadays, I don't it's not that I don't do my due diligence. I just enjoy the surprise of what's kind of in them and then I go from there. But I pulled that Entei holo and I was like, "Oh my god, like I want this as like a piece of artwork on my wall." You know what I mean? Like holographic and everything. And then in the back of my head, I'm like, "But this is like this is an overlooked card." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Could it be because of like the times have changed? So when like Pokemon came out, the first thing that comes into my mind is like they were trying to attract people. They were trying to get people to get into it, knowing that they can complete a set, try to like cater to like the general public. But now since Pokemon has all the hype, now they can like, oh, let's put, instead of just like 3 or 4 chase cards, let's put a whole set of like rainbow rares and secret rares, and just as they evolve through time, they're able to do that. So that's like the first thing that comes to my
Pokemon
mind.
collectors are kind of like spoiled, in my honest opinion. Like, we all were chasing after rainbow rares, and then after that we got tired of rainbow rares because that's what we saw. And then now we're getting alternate arts, and now we're gonna get that. So like, it's a cycle where people are just gonna get tired of something, and before you know it, it's like you're gonna have some sort of new kind of rarity where the GXs, I mean not the GXs, like the ultras and the ultra rares and the holos become completely overlooked, and even the rainbow rares.
It as kind of like a collector burnout, you know what I mean? You could reference it like that, where kind of like people just get tired of like a certain card or a certain style variation of card, right? You know what I mean? Where people are like, oh man, like okay, yeah, what's the next thing, right? Like what is the V Union cards? You know what I mean? I seen mixed perspectives on that as well too, right? Like where people are like, I hate this shit, and people are like, I want more of this. You know what I mean? Again, it's that personal preference perspective, I think, too, right? But yeah, dude, like just how Yizzy just said too, like back in the day, I think when Pokemon was first kind of arising, that target demographic was like, I shouldn't say primarily a younger demographic, but like realistically, you know what I mean? They weren't like, oh, I hope like, the 30-year-old demographic really likes these holographic cards, right? They were like, yo, let's appeal to the younger kids with a shiny piece of cardboard and we're going to get them like, and bro, like, they got us all 25 years later. We're still, you know what I mean? Still going for it, right?
But a vicious cycle. They've made it.
Kids even get hype over normal holos. I think kids are just going to get hype over anything, like you give like guys, if you're in a good position where money is not a really big issue and you have a lot of bulk lying around, definitely go out of your way to give it to some kids. There's lots of kids out there that don't have Pokemon cards. I've had a kid who I know that I gave a lot of my bulk away to, was literally drawing and making his own Pokemon cards. So like it would really make the world to them if you do give them your bulk. If you can, obviously spare the extra $50 to $100 if it's just sitting there and you don't even want to go through the entire ordeal of like wrapping up those cards and ordering rarity. That I 100% highly recommend you guys doing that, because that's in my honest opinion, that is the best investment you can possibly make as a Pokemon collector, and it just keeps the hobby alive.
Bro. At the end of the day, realistically, you got to think about the younger demographic are the people who are going to be carrying Pokemon over into the next generations as well, too, right? I do a lot of local buying and selling and trading, and I have for years around my area. I've built and networked a lot of awesome relationships, whether it be from my brick and mortar locations or from buying and selling and trading privately. And the biggest thing that I enjoy, and it's funny too, because I get both ends of this field, right? I'll have private listings, or I have listings up on, like you guys have Craigslist. We have like Kijiji or whatever over here, right? I'll have Kijiji listings up, and I have people hit me up that are like, oh, I'm just looking to buy some kids or cards for my kids, right? And you meet up with that person, and it's someone like us hoping that they're going to stumble upon, you know what I mean, a binder full of whatever and just make some money off it, right? And then on the flip side, I'll meet up with awesome people, parents who are genuinely trying to just find Pokemon cards for their kids. And it's my favorite thing personally. At the end of the day, like I don't give a shit anything else. is that feeling that you get when you see a younger person who is into this community, into this hobby. Their eyes light up because
Mm.
they give you something, you give them something they over expect. I'll go to meet up with these people, right? And it doesn't take a certain level, it only takes a certain level of discernment, I should say, to look at somebody and be like, these people are being genuine about this, right? So,
Absolutely.
Right.
I'll be like, you know what, you guys wanted to buy this, just hold on right here, right? And I'll come back
Yeah.
upstairs. I will pack tins, elite trainer boxes with sleeves, dice, EX, GX cards, all that stuff. And like, yeah, just like you said, it's 50 to $100, maybe like in and around that price range for sure. Could I trade it in for bulk price? Definitely. Could I sell it? Maybe. You know what I mean? But to
Yeah.
give that to somebody and instill that value in them as well too, like the younger demographic,
Yeah.
that's gonna sit with them and resonate with them for years to come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Shout
those kids are gonna remember that experience and they're gonna be like, wow, like and it's gonna keep that going. So I do that on a consistent basis, and like I never post anything about it because I don't care to, because at the end of the day, like I have it, those people have it in their mind as well too. The parents have it, and a lot of the times it's really cool because it's like it's a double beneficial aspect, because you'll have those same parents hit you back up and be like, yo, like my child or my son, my daughter was so happy with that. Like if you ever want to sell more cards in the future, we'd be glad to purchase off you. And then that's how you also build relationships in that regard as well
Yeah.
too, right?
100%.
You have people that like I said, it comes back down to that level of discernment where like I'm not going to sell the Joe Schmo who just rolled up here being like, oh, I know we agreed on 100, but I'm going to give you 70 and I hope that there's a bunch of value in this, right?
Mm.
That's not the person I'm going to hit up again down the
Yeah.
road. It's that person that I know is like, But yeah, that's awesome that you do that as well too, Shiv. That's
Yeah.
what I'd like to hear, man, because that's what it's about, bro. That's what it's
Uh,
about.
Quick shout out to 89BXR. I donate all my bulk to my kids' classroom. A lot of the kids love it, and I handpick different cards so they don't get any doubles. That's awesome. We
Oh,
appreciate that.
dude, 89BXR. Hey, 89BXR actually just got my logo tattooed on his hand, bro.
That's
Shout out to
cool.
What?
89BXR.
That's cool.
Bro, he just got the Zard logo done really well on his hand. And a shout out
Yeah.
89BXR because he actually hit me up respectfully, like
Yeah.
respectfully so, and was like, listen, man, like I love this design. I don't want to like rip off your artwork or anything like that. I don't want to, you know what I mean? This is your creation. This is your,
It's a cool logo.
your yeah, thanks, bro. And then yeah, he got it done on his hand, bro. I was blown away. So
Yeah.
yo, 89BXR, bro, that's awesome. Thank you kindly, man. That's good. That's what I like to see.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. There's actually really hard giving away. So when I went to FloridaCon, I went to me and Rob went to Universal Studios and we cracked some Hidden Fates. Like
Yeah.
it's cool going to Harry Potter World and is it the Cauldron? The Cauldron?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I haven't been to Universal in forever, bro.
Yeah, and we opened it up.
Like the Dragons was the roller coaster thing there or whatever. So
Yeah, yeah. And we opened a bunch of cards and we're like, well, we have most of these shining and a Pokemon in here. So it's like we're just gonna give it away. Rob walks up to one kid, gives it away, give away his packs. I went up to at least 5 families, and everybody was
they're
just
like,
so
yo,
scared of. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna make a TikTok on it. It's coming out soon. But like they were just
Yizzy,
I
bro.
like give it to
Yeah.
him. One Asian family was like, no, 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 grab their kid's arm and like pulled him away from me. I'm like, Rob, am I like really
How
that
do you think
scary?
I feel, bro? How do you think I feel when kids and parents show up to show up to buy Pokemon cards off of me, right? They meet up with me and I show up and they're like, come on, Timmy, like let's go. Like, yo, we're not buying it off of this scum of society, this tattooed heathen. You know what I mean, bro? Trust me, I feel you on that. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's hard. I'll be like, yo, here's some cards, and they're like, oh no, thank you. And I'm like,
Yeah, they won't take it. It
okay,
was hard.
all right, yeah, no worries. The next lucky kid, you know what I mean,
That's
who's
why you
not
do it at
judging me.
conventions. That's why you do it at conventions.
Mine actually had shiny Pokemon in it. Rob's didn't. Rob's was
Yeah.
just
Oh,
like bulk and like a
Pokemon.
hollow Zapdos. Mine had shiny Pokemon in it. They wouldn't take it.
That's
One
why you gotta
kid
do
came
it at
up to me and is
conventions,
like,
man.
"Is that rare?" I'm like, "Yeah, take it. It's free." And I, like,
Ow.
yeah,
Yo,
the last
so
person
kid
that
is like,
got him,
do you
like
want
they
these
were
Pokemon
questioning
cards?
what.
He's like, is it rare?
Yeah, he was like, "Can I sell it?" I'm like, "I mean, if you want to," but the mom wouldn't let him take it. The one that got them the most was I gave it to him, and the mom was like, kind of like, or the parents were like, eh. And then I was like, "It's literally free." And then they were like, "Free?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
They're like,
take
free.
it. You will not have to. You don't have to pay me. Like, you won't have to ever see me. Just take it, please. Like, I need to make this content."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we want to give away Pokemon cards, and it just wasn't happening to giving away these kids. I thought they would be happy. You know, I'd be happy if like some random dude,
Right,
Asian
man.
dude,
right,
came up
yeah.
to
You
me
never
and
know. Maybe those kids had like way better collections than all three of us combined at their house, and they're like, I don't want
You
their
never
Hidden
know,
Fates
man.
bulk.
You never
You know,
know.
the parents are like, we have all of that. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just garbage.
Yeah. Like, I don't want your bulk, bro.
Yeah,
Trying to pawn
Yeah,
your bulk off on me, man.
yeah. Facts.
yeah.
But yeah, it was
Just so we
like
could
the
start.
park was closing, and I'm like, this is not happening. I've been trying this for like at least 30 minutes, and none of these kids won't take
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I
Mhm.
know, Yizzy,
Jeez.
you have a whatnot auction actually about to happen here soon. So we can go ahead and start wrapping this good time of a podcast up. We
Certainly.
Okay.
definitely appreciate you for joining the podcast, Trainer Trey. You're more than welcome to come on anytime in the
Thank you
future.
kindly, guys, for having me. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for the banter. Thank you for having me on here to
Absolutely.
hypothesize about
Yeah.
different perspectives within the community. And yeah, next time you guys want to do this again, appreciate it. Shout out to everybody who came here from my community, my
We
my
appreciate all you
circle
guys.
over there as well. To appreciate you guys, and thank you to everybody who joined up to just chat here as well. To the regulars on your guys' podcast as well too.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
mad respect to all of you guys.
Go
Appreciate it.
follow Trainer Trey. There
Yes,
you go.
sir.
There you go.
Trainer Trey.
Do we have his link right there? Go ahead, drop your comment. Drop your comment so they can click your name.
Wait, what
and
do you want me to
follow.
drop? What do you want me to drop, bro?
Drop your comment. Drop a
Put your
comment.
Instagram on the comment section as well, so that way we can get it. Because I'll end up putting up the description up later tomorrow in the day.
Got you.
But yeah,
There
I
it
mean, we definitely do appreciate that. I don't think we might have covered everything from Tampa, but if not, we'll definitely cover the rest of the Tampa adventure that myself and Yizzy had in next week's podcast. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm pretty sure we still have a lot to talk about. What we plan on doing in the future, the next conventions that we're going to. I know myself and Yizzy will be in Vegas. Hopefully, I think as of right now, it's a maybe. It's a possibility that we'll be in Vegas the first weekend of Vegas, doing the first edition Shadowless box break with Steve Aoki. We'll be there. Then there is us going to Collecticon in Houston, so we'll definitely see you there. Hopefully, we can see Trainer Trey there as well. And then
Forward to it.
and then myself, my last event for October will be Legends Expo in my home state, Richmond, Virginia. Myself, Pokemon Radar, and Charlie from Lutkins will be there. It's Digimon Regionals will be there. And then right now, so for those guys who do not know, myself and Yizzy are working with the Collectors Con team in December. So that's what's going on. Those are our... We can pretty much start saying, like, these are our tour dates, Yizzy. So that's what we're doing.
Those are your tour dates.
Yeah, these are our tour dates, guys. We'll be there. Definitely go give Laura a follow. Definitely subscribe to him on Instagram, and subscribe to him on the good old YouTube. So, yeah, we pretty much love all of you guys. And also, we like to shout out one more time our sponsors, Prodigy Games. They are a local card shop in Tampa. They do an amazing job. I pretty much had a blast talking to Will, their employees. They're great people. I will be dropping some content that I produced at Collectors Con with them. So be on the lookout for that. And then shout out to TCG Stadium. They're running an amazing and huge giveaway right now at the moment. If you haven't followed them, make sure you follow them. And that's pretty much it. Until then, we will see you guys on the next podcast. On the next Poke Tea Time podcast. And I don't know if you guys know how we sign out. We got a lot of new people in here, but the way we sign out is that we hit the sips up, deuces, and we say we're out all at the same time. So on 3, we're going to go ahead and do it. Sips up.
What's up?
Deuces.
Deuces.
And
we're out.
Thank you guys so much for joining the podcast.